Hi folks, the Filipina P here, and it's that time of the month again. Time to reach into the mailbag and read some of the emails I get from you viewers who have questions or problems. As always, I'm flattered that you asked me for help, and I promise to give you my best advice. And you're gonna need it, because today we've got a girlfriend who acts like a human boomerang, a woman who keeps liquidating everything she's given, and a Filipina who just doesn't seem to know when to keep her clothes on. Don't you just hate it when that happens? So let's get started, shall we? The first email is from Alan C. in Angel Home, Sweden. What a cool name, Angel Home. I hope I pronounced that right. Alan writes, Dear P, I need to know what craziness is afflicting my girlfriend in Manila. I try to make her life easier because she has tough times living with her mother, so I sent her money to buy a clothes washer. But then the money goes to something else, and still no clothes washer. So I buy it myself and have it sent to her house. She takes a photo of it and says thanks to me. But 1 week later we talk on video, and I see there is no clothes washer. When I ask her where, she says she has to pawn it. And when she told me how much money she got, I felt sick and very mad. She did the same thing with the tools I left when I was there, and she said she will get them, but now she can't anymore. I tell her that she wastes money, but she doesn't understand, and she says she needs to pawn it. I'm very upset, and I don't know why she does this. Please help before I make a bad decision. She can get the clothes washer, but if I send her money to get it, the money might disappear again. Is this normal? Okay, Alan, I'm sorry to hear that you have to deal with this. I don't want to say it's normal, but I will say it's not uncommon. Many Filipinos just don't understand money, how to make it, how to spend it, or how to save it. We only have experience with one of those, spending it. When we need cash, which is just about all the time, if there's something in our house that we don't absolutely need, it gets taken to the pawn shop. We only get a fraction of what something's worth, and if we don't claim it within a couple of months, it's gone for good. And given the way Filipinos are with money, the items usually stay at the pawn shop. We don't think about what a bad deal we're getting because in our way of thinking, any peso is a good peso, and we'll take it. So, what can you do in your situation? Well, if you can't trust your Filipino with your money, and your tools apparently, then I'm not sure what to tell you. To get the washer back, you could tell her that she has one last chance to go to the pawn shop and get it. And if she ever tries to pawn it again, then you'll never send her another peso. Just stop sending her money or trying to make her life easier until you're together in person. And then I'm afraid you're going to have to handle all the finances yourself. About your only other option is to minimize the future damage by nuking the relationship before it gets any farther. But that would be something you'd have to decide. Best of luck, my friend. Okay, next we have from Thomas G. in Chilliwack, Canada, who writes, Hello, Miss P. I'm hoping you can help me with my relationship. Well, I'll certainly try, Thomas. I met a woman online about 2 years ago, and everything was fine for a while, maybe like for the first few months. We talked all the time, and then we said we're engaged. I told her I was going to see her as soon as the Philippines started letting people in. But then without any warning, she said she wanted to break up because she said it was taking too long and she stopped talking to me. That really hurt, but after a few weeks, I just accepted it, and I was ready to move on. Then, she wrote me back and said she was sorry and wanted to try again. Boom! It was like nothing had ever happened, and I was happy again. We stayed like that for almost a whole year, but a few months before I was supposed to leave, she did the same thing again and called off our engagement. Okay, I've already got a lot to say, but I'll wait till the end. She said she needed to think about things, and now when I message her, I don't know if she's even reading it. I haven't heard from her since August, but I already have my plane tickets and I still love her. Should I keep trying to change her mind or should I just cancel the trip and forget about her? Oh my, Thomas. Where to begin? Okay, first of all, I know this might not sound right to you, but the first thing you have to realize is that you were never really engaged to this woman, if she was even a woman. You never met her in person, so you're not sure. She was just a person you were chatting with. That's all. It sounds to me like you spent almost 2 years of your life chasing a ghost, and when she disappeared the first time, you probably should have put the last nail in the coffin and ended it. Now, I don't know enough about either one of you to be able to tell what was going on. I don't even know how old both of you are, so all I can do is guess what the problem was. Maybe she was emotionally damaged and had trust issues. Maybe her family disapproved of your relationship. But what it probably was another man or men. When she suddenly cuts you off like that and then reappears, it sounds to me like you were part of a rotation and she was just spinning a bunch of plates. I know this might be hard to hear, but when she stopped talking to you, she was probably grooming a new prize stallion. And when that one ran away, she decided to go back to the stable and try you again. But none of that is important now because the only thing you need to focus on is where to go from here. Now you ask whether you should keep trying to contact this woman or just cancel your trip. My advice is that you don't do either of those. You don't want to have anything to do with that train wreck of a girlfriend ever again. But the best way to forget her is come to the Philippines. I almost guarantee you, Thomas, a couple of weeks in the Philippines will be just what Dr. P ordered. And you'll find someone new that fills in all your blanks. And maybe you can fill in all her blanks too. You already got the tickets. You already got the time. So be like Nike and just do it. Finally, we have Joseph D. from McDonald here in the Philippines. Howdy, neighbor. Let's see what Joseph has to say. Hi, P. I hope you don't think this is too weird of a question, but I tried to answer it on my own. And no one seems to know anything about it. So I figured if anyone could tell me what was going on, it'd be you. My Filipina girlfriend still lives at home with her two brothers, one younger and one older. When we're at my apartment, everything's normal. But when we're at her house, I notice that she changes the way she dresses or doesn't dress. She's always running around in a towel, which doesn't seem strange to me. But sometimes she'll wrap the towel too low around her waist and walk around topless, even if one of her brothers is home. But it gets worse. Her family showers outdoors using the bucket system. And on one side, there's only a low wall separating her yard from a field that I've seen people walking across. I know that most Filipinos shower with their clothes on, but my girlfriend didn't get the memo because she puts on quite a show for anyone in the house that happens to go outside or anyone that walks through the field. Now, I'm not a prude, but where I come from in the US, we don't walk around naked in front of family. So my question is this: what's the etiquette for Filipinos? In your culture, is my girlfriend's behavior acceptable? Well, Joseph, I have to admit that I've never been asked that question, but I do know the answer. Your girlfriend is weird. Filipinos are pretty conservative when it comes to nudity. And even though we're the biggest consumers of porn on the planet, we usually keep the nudity on screen, not in real life, and not where other people can see it, and definitely not where family can see it. Since you live here, I'm sure you've noticed that most Filipinas won't even wear a bikini. And to us, nudity is almost synonymous with sex. Now, you might have noticed that we do have a couple exceptions to that. Women don't think anything of breastfeeding in public, and you can easily find yourself on a jeepney sitting next to a woman who pulls one of her boobs out at feeding time. Obviously, it's considered impolite to stare. The other exception doesn't exactly involve nudity, but it's close. Once women hit middle age, especially in the provinces, they often no longer wear bras, even under very thin or revealing tops. That's because they've become losyang, which means they don't really care about their appearance. They're already married with kids, so they don't worry about looking attractive. And a bra is the first thing to go. But other than that, we're pretty uptight about nudity, so your girlfriend's behavior is definitely outside the norm. And as far as what her deal is, I have no idea. Maybe she just feels more relaxed at home. Or maybe they were just raised that way. Or maybe she's an exhibitionist and she likes flashing people. Pretty strange, but it's not the end of the world. At least she's not a serial killer, or even worse, a feminist. Well, I hope I answered your question about our culture, and my advice in this case is just relax and enjoy the view. And with that, we've come to the end of another episode, but I'll be back on Tuesday with a special guest who's gonna tell us the best place in Asia to retire. Till then, folks.
Thank you so much for agreeing to give the children a geography lesson today, Miss P.
I just wanted to borrow your glove for a second. A geography lesson, eh? Okay, kids, I've been rushing all day. I ran down to the school, but now I'm gonna get out the good china because I'm hungry for some turkey. And now I really need to get going, kids, because I'm kinda getting chilly.
Approaching Omicron standard orbit, Mr. Pater. Yes, sir.
Planet Omicron, Captain. Code 710.
Code 710 means under no circumstances are we to approach that planet. No circumstances whatsoever.
Omicron is home to a species of long-haired, tan-skinned, supposedly irresistible females called Filipinas.
Paradise. We're going in.
Captain, it might be prudent to first consult the video archives of the Filipina P to study their culture, their mating habits, and their propensity to separate men from their resources. Captain? Problems, Captain? Your visit lasted only 3.8 seconds.
A planet of traitors. Disloyal to the core. Rotten like the rest of these subhuman race.
You were conned. I did warn you, Jim. Now promise me you'll never fall for another what? Very wise, Captain. Preparing to leave orbit.
I can leave.
Captain's log, supplemental. The captain has inexplicably returned to the planet's surface. His final transmission was a hysterical, almost incoherent plea for millions of something called pesos.